And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 7th episode of the Sausage Fest podcast. My name is Ben, aka That Boy Mental, along with my co hosts Jordan, aka Chaos,
Hello.
and Austin, aka Studman.
Diarrhea, baby.
And today we have a very special guest. We have a former Esport pro, former Complexity member, and former Clash Royale pro, Chandler, aka Chache, with us.
Chache. I like that.
Yeah, I like that little spin on the name.
Yeah.
Did I say it wrong? Was it Cache?
Chachi.
Chachi. Never
Yeah,
was gonna
you
get that
got
one
it.
right.
No one ever does. It's all
We
good.
nominated the host. He's kind of like illiterate, so we kind of just don't let him.
Which is
Don't worry,
funny
I'm
because
dyslexic,
English is my
I'm with
best
you.
thing in school, but I'm retarded.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, we don't have any real topics for this episode. We're just gonna let it fly off the rim of the wheel, whatever the fuck that
We
means.
woke up and we said we need to bring someone on that's going to carry this podcast.
I got you.
And after we hit up about 15 people, we finally landed on Mr. Chachi himself. And so now
Friend.
that's why he's here.
The friend, as Austin referred to him
I'll carry the
as.
podcast like I carried the bench at Complexity, baby.
Wow.
Let's go.
Hells Okay, so we had an episode before this that didn't end up getting posted where we talked a lot about you, but we never. Apparently, Austin got a lot of things wrong.
Mhm.
So let's start with, how did you end up getting into Complexity, or how did they find you?
Okay, yeah. So basically, Clash Royale was the game I played, and they announced that there was this pro league coming, and to qualify for it, you had to enter into an in-game tournament. And so I think there was like 36 million people or something. Anybody could qualify, and if you got 20 wins and like less than 2 losses, you moved on to like the next stage. So from there, I obviously qualified for that. And then you were broken up into your regions, so like North America, South America, Asia, Europe, all that stuff. And you had to win in your region, which there's about 1,000. So from those 36 million or whatever it was, there was around, I think, 5,000 people that were able to get to that point. So from there, you're broken up into your region. So there's about 1,200 or so from America and like North America. So then you went into like a bracket style tournament, and the top 64 got paid to go kind of do like an NFL combine where you'd fly out to LA. We got to stay and we did interviews and 2 tournaments. And from there, like you'd either get a call back from a few teams or you wouldn't. In which I got interviews from 100 Thieves, Complexity, CLG, and then that was all. So
Those are
Wait,
some
so
really
why did you
big
choose
names.
complexity?
So I was debating on whether or not to go to 100 Thieves or Complexity. 100 Thieves had all my friends on it, and they were actually going to pay me a lot more than what Complexity was. But looking at the
Different.
roster, Complexity was like the best roster at the time. Like they had the best pros. And if you win Worlds, you get $1 million split by 5 people, which would be your roster. So I was like, yeah, $200,000. That's a realistic chance. So then I was like, well, I'm gonna go with Complexity, and I did. And then that's like we had like another little tryout between 3 people, and from the three, 2 of us were picked. And so yeah, that's how like I kind of got involved.
That's insane. I didn't realize how many orgs were actually involved in this.
I didn't know 100 Thieves was involved. I knew other ones.
I didn't even know
but
100
didn't
Thieves was
100 were.
existing back then when Clash Royale was still big. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't, like, I've only started paying attention to 100 Thieves when they won, like, the Call of Duty World Championship, like, 2 or 3
I
years
paid attention
ago.
to him then. I paid attention when they played Valorant.
Right. That's, like,
Yeah,
their
they're good-
next
they're good
biggest
at
thing.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, Nade Shot, he came up to like their house and stuff because they're like sponsored by like Rocket Mortgage, and he was really cool to like hang out with and stuff. Like he's a good guy, so like you never know in like celebrities and stuff. Which
Right.
that's like another thing is like when I went there, these guys on my team, they're all like famous. They have like hundreds of thousands of followers, and I'm just like some random guy. And then
Right.
you're like, okay, do I gotta be like, hey, Colton W83, like call him by his name, or do I call him like Colton Wall? It's like, oh, I don't know. But
Yeah, it would be
it's-
weird. I don't know.
It was so weird because like they just took me in like I was just like a regular guy that was like living with them for a while, so it's kind of cool in that way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I
uh,
remember what was the first thing that Colton won that got him big? Because I remember watching whatever that was. I just don't remember what it was called.
Oh, I think it's King's Cup. I want to say King's Cup 1. That was like one of the first tournaments, and it was out in LA, and I would have went, but I don't think I was old enough. I think you had to be like 18 or something to do it, 17 or 18. I was 16, and I didn't get to go, but I went to the second one, and that's when I like met them all, so they kind of all remembered me, and that's kind of how I got into the esports anyways, because I joined Nova, which is like a Chinese organization or whatever, and that's where I like got my competitive experience. Then like was able to like make my own team, and then finally go into complexity and duel all out. So
So for the people who
Jeez.
don't know a lot about esports and how it works, there's a lot of brands that are considered like a pretty high tier brand. Like they have a lot of investors, good rosters, money, coaches, stuff like that. Complexity is arguably one of the highest. Like they're up there for
Wasn't it one
all,
of the oldest too?
yeah, they're
yeah,
like one of the founding ones of like the whole
Yeah.
esports scene and like in general. So in order for you, just in general, it's really hard to believe that someone from like this area made it
My
that far
biology
in East.
class.
Right.
yeah,
It's like it's
That
insane
was-
to think that
I
someone
remember
made it
like
that far.
literally like trying to cheat off in biology, and then I see him on like playing Clash Royale with all these like pros, and I'm like, there's no way. I was like,
yeah,
I've beaten him before in the game. There's no way he's literally playing with pros.
yeah. No, I honestly have never been like I've been like good at the game, but I never considered myself at like that elite level. But like I think like the meta of the game during the tournament qualifier was like the
Your meta.
perfect storm, and that's the reason I got to go.
Yeah, but you
And then
can't say at school you weren't untouchable because you were.
I'm
No one was beating you at least consistently.
Yeah, I said the only person that would like maybe beat me in every now and then was like Tyler, but it would just be like his decks were like just made to beat mine. So I was like,
Counters, yeah, right.
He
yeah,
knew what the fuck he was doing when he played you.
yeah.
So how long were you a part of Complexity?
So it wasn't too long. I think it was about like 7 or so months, like from June till November. But I like officially was a part of the team until January 1st, but our season was over. Because we got second place in our like league, and first place got to go to Worlds, so it ended shorter. But
Who got first?
um,
Tell me it's 100 threes.
no,
Hundred
they
threes,
got
that's-
last. They got last. They were not good. um, man, Immortals, yeah, Immortals. Did.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
Immortals
yeah,
was
they,
just coming up at that time. Like they were still pretty small
yeah.
to work at the time.
Yep, they were fairly new. They had just a sneaky good player who came out of nowhere that like no one ever heard of, and then he whooped us, and
Kind of like you.
yeah,
yeah.
took us out.
That's
If I would have
insane.
played in that game, man,
Yeah.
we would have won.
I,
We would have won.
I tried telling him. I tried
Sub me in,
emailing
coach.
him,
Sub
letting
me
him
in.
know.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I was like in my heart, I was like, I wouldn't be mad if we lost this because I don't want to go like fly back because like the schedule was if we won that game and got to go to Worlds, we'd go home for like 2 weeks, but you like really wouldn't go home. You'd go home maybe for like 2 days, then you'd like fly back to like Dallas because we're owned Complexity is owned by the Dallas Cowboys,
Right.
which would have been cool to like stay at like the Star and stuff, but.
Mhm.
Then we would have to like miss Thanksgiving and Christmas and then fly out to Japan, which is like a forever flight. And I was just like, I really don't want to be a plane that long. Flying over an ocean, it's kind of scary. So I was like,
Yeah.
we'll see, we'll see. But looking back, I kind of wish we would have won that game. I think it would have been cool.
Oh yeah,
Been
I
sick.
can only imagine. So did Complexity like I don't know like help you start any like social media followings or like any presence at all?
Yeah. So before I went, like, I only made a Twitter just because like my Instagram at the time was like my personal brand, and I didn't like want like my Austin to see me out in LA playing video games and posting because I feel like I would have lost a lot of those like real life followers. Like looking back, I could have probably made an Instagram.
Wait,
My
why?
Twitter was just because like if you're posting like, hey, I'm playing video games and stuff, people are probably like, oh, that's weird. Like a lot of the girls, I
Nerd.
guess. Yeah,
Interesting.
kind of. I don't know. Like nowadays, they're like, oh, that's interesting. And I was
Nowadays
like,
it's
yeah.
almost acceptable.
To
Yeah,
me, it
exactly.
would attract people to try and be like best friends with you all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, the guys
That's what I
definitely,
thought.
but the girls would have been
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, no, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you play games for a living? No way, no way.
You sleep in a
But
house with a bunch of men? Oh no.
exactly, it's like, oh
Yeah.
man. But I did Twitter and I got up to like 1,500 followers or something like that. Like nothing too crazy, but
That's respectable.
Twitch is like my biggest platform, as well as YouTube. So I got Twitch partnered about a month after I got to our team house, which was really cool. So now I have one check mark to show my work.
That's
I
cool.
was gonna be on the front page of Twitch for the Clash Royale team. Like Clash Royale wanted to put me out there, but then we lost that game to go to Worlds.
So they said,
So
never
then they
mind.
picked the other guy from the other team to do
Oh,
Oh.
it, and I
that's
was like,
shady.
oh
That's
man.
terrible.
Front
That's
But
front
funny.
page of Twitch is huge. There's
yeah,
not a
that's why I
lot of people
said.
that get that.
That's
Yeah,
cool. That would
so
have
that
been
would have
cool.
been like the highlight of my life, I think, to be able to do that, and that would have definitely like set me up forever. But still got partnered. I was about to get Twitter verified, and Post Malone would have followed me, but again, my contract ended in January, and they all got verified in February. Sad
Wow.
face.
So did you not
So,
try to negotiate for a new contract, or did they just let you go?
so I was actually gonna go back out for a season two, but my girlfriend at the time was like, "Oh, please don't leave me again for like 7 months," and then I would have lost my scholarship at school and stuff like that. So I had to like weigh the options because I was actually gonna go back and be a manager for Team Dignitas.
Oh, okay.
Because Complexity, they wanted me just to stay as like a remote player, so I'd stay at home and just like play online. So I was like, yeah, it's like cool, but not the same experience.
Right.
But Dignitas would have been with the whole 100 Thieves team switched to Team Dig because they did so bad. The 100 Thieves like dropped out of the league. It was
They were like,
actually really
nah,
funny.
nah,
But yeah,
not worth.
so I would have done that, but then ended up having to not go because of losing scholarship and then the girlfriend again. So girls, theme of
Yeah.
the story.
You should have told her grind never stops, babe. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
that's
what you
behind
do.
the sausage podcast, right?
Yeah,
Real,
Sausage
right.
fest.
yeah,
Hell
You,
yeah.
you're
all
building your way
guys,
back
baby.
up is what you're doing. You're building your way back into the spotlight.
Exactly.
Don't worry, all 30 of our listeners will go hit your follow button.
Right. Probably.
Hell
I
yeah.
didn't know all this. Like, I knew a little bit, probably because what you said or what I heard. Like, I knew, like, you were playing on here and I could watch you on YouTube or whatever for one of these tournaments, one of these. And I remember seeing it. I was like, that's so cool seeing them on there. And then I remember you streaming on Twitch sometimes. Sometimes I pop in and we play. I get absolutely just destroyed. But it was still fun to be a part of. But I didn't know it went this deep. I really didn't.
Yeah, no, it was kind of over my head at first. Like again, it was kind of unreal. Like a little starstruck at the beginning, like meeting all these like famous people. Like oh no, I got to see like Sir Tag and
Don't know who
like a
that is.
bunch of just like famous Clash Royale people. And then we got to go be on like the Conan O'Brien show. So it's
I
just like
saw that.
so weird because like why would I ever do this? I have no idea. So it's just like surreal for a lot of it. But
Yeah, that is honestly super, super cool. I uh I will say your experience was a lot different than the one I had, but I never actually officially got signed by anyone. But it wasn't for Clash Royale, it was for Rocket League. But
oh, okay, yeah,
yeah, I played a lot of Rocket League. I had tryouts from like two different teams, and they didn't pick me up. But just even
mm,
being able to get a tryout in such a
yeah, it's
demanding
huge.
esport, I was super happy just even getting that.
Yeah.
So
No, it's hard to get to that point. That's like the hardest point.
right,
But it's again like if you go into this team house, like they like it's kind of like back when you're in middle school. Like Austin, you went to Discovery, right?
I went to
No,
South Bend.
oh, I was gonna say
Mm.
Mr. Kaufman's always like whatever you post on the internet's there forever. So that's kind of true because like the teams they looked because you're living with these people for like 7 8 months. So if you sign someone that's like an asshole to live with, then you're stuck with them. Like you can't just like drop them because then you don't meet the required amount of teammates, and you still have to pay them out because the
Right.
contract doesn't end for like a year.
right.
So you gotta like, okay, am I gonna am I gonna gel with these people? Like that's like a huge thing. So when I was at the interview process, like at the tournament, the combine, people like the first two interviews, I was super like not myself. I was very quiet, like just was like
Nervous.
sitting there,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
do I just say something?
Understandably so.
But then people were like, oh, they already have their spots filled, and I was like, okay, well, I kind of got like desperation mode, and like was just like, all right, I'm just gonna be myself. And I said, if anything, this is just a really great trip. I got a free like 3 day vacation. So then like the last three teams I talked to were all the teams that reached back out to me. So it's just like, again, it's like not only your gameplay, but it's also like how you interact with people. So,
Right. What other teams talk to you?
so CLG, 100 Thieves, and then Complexity were the main
Oh,
three.
okay. Oh, okay.
But I also talked to a couple like others, but I already knew their spots were full.
Mm.
Okay.
What was that?
I don't know what that was.
That was
I was wondering if
That
that
was
was
kind of
Jordan.
ear
is
piercing.
something
That
gonna
wasn't me.
blow up?
I think my fire alarm's going on.
What?
You,
I'll
That's
be
you good?
right back. I just need to make sure.
Oh my god.
There, here's your title.
There's our clickbait.
Former esports house burns down.
That is insane, dude. Is there a
That's hilarious.
He's walking
That's-
around asking if there's a fire. That's fucking insane. Oh,
It's so
man.
cool. I was hoping for a fire. Talk about content.
Dude, that'd be insane content.
We got bombs and fires and
Yeah.
all stuff. I don't know what just
The
happened.
podcast is
Got
so good,
fucking-
your house is just burning down.
Yeah,
And
someone
nuclear
must have dropped their
sirens going
mixtape.
off.
Oh, man.
Man,
Oh,
Oh.
that's funny.
R.I.P. headphone users.
Oh god, I know. I was like, it sounded like an old alarm clock in like an '80s movie. It looked like it's metal, you know? It was like ringing.
Yeah, like talk to me too. It's like there's a fire. I'm like,
Oh, God.
what?
It's giving
Like a
you a
beep and
warning.
then talk.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
seriously. Oh,
So,
that's-
anyway, going back to what we were talking about, is there
Yeah.
anything you look back on and wish you would have like taken advantage of, knowing what you know now?
I feel like it's again just like connections. I wish I'd talked to more people when I was there. I kind of had my judgments when I went out. Like, you verse some of these people and stuff, and like you're in the same tournaments and like you're talking, and it's kind of like a high school like typical movie where you have like your cliques and stuff. I wish I would have like expanded out of like my group and like tried to talk to some of these other dudes. Like, granted, there's some like douchebags and stuff that are like, never gonna get over.
Right.
A lot of people on like one team like nobody liked on any other team, and
Really? I was
they're
gonna
very
ask, was there
toxic.
anyone's personality that was like you knew before going into that kind of shocked you when you met them in person?
Well, yeah, because one of the people that like I don't want to drop a name just in case he
Fine.
somehow watches
There's
this.
no
or
shot he
whatever.
watches
That's
this.
incredible.
He's
No
very-
shot.
Why is my
But like there
door-
was this guy that I'd watch on like CCGS. It was like the solo tournament before CRL, which was like the team tournament. And he was like my favorite guy. I was like, oh my god, like I really hope this guy wins. And like whenever he lost, I was like upset, and I'd be like, dang. And he'd always, just like on Twitter, he was a completely different person in person. He was so toxic and so
Really?
rude. And I was like, dude, like I wish people could see you like this. So I said, you are very popular. I said, you're good at the game. So I said, you're going to have fans. But I said, you don't deserve them. I said, you're just trash.
Right. What about YouTube content creators? Any of those you met?
Yeah, no, I've met a ton. We're all still friends to this day. And they actually give me like investment
no way.
advice and
There's
like
no
stuff. They're like,
fucking way.
oh, come in,
What?
come in.
No way.
No shot.
I have probably like 8 or 9 like full-time YouTuber friends. Like that is their job. They like grind it out every day.
Like who?
Surtag or Jake, Clash with Ash, Colton, Adrian Piedra, just like bunch of people from all over.
I recognized a couple
and
of
then-
those names.
Yeah. So, I got to meet a lot of them. And they're all really, really like genuine people. So it's just great to see that. So it's not the way that like I envisioned. I thought some of them were actually going to be like mean,
Toxic?
but they were the
Uh-huh.
complete opposite. I was like, oh my god! But you never know. That's
Yeah.
why it's great. You get to see them face to face. And if you live with like someone that long or like talk to them that long, they can't fake it.
Right.
So
Yeah, they can't fake it forever if they ever try.
That's sick.
There is no fake it till you make it.
Not when
Yeah.
you're living with someone. No, not really. So, did you ever try to get a YouTube channel started or anything like that?
Yeah, I think I got my channel up to like 900 subs or something at its peak. But then I just like when things start to go well for me, I get unmotivated. So like grinding at the beginning, like my TikToks that I guess I have a lot of following on TikTok, like 100K and like 60K
Okay.
or something, but it's not gaming related. But like TikToks and YouTube and Twitch, like I get to the point where I'm partnered on Twitch, I stop streaming. I get to the point where I'm about to hit 1,000 subs, stop YouTube. I'm like making money off TikTok. I stopped posting on TikTok. So it's like
Makes sense.
Man,
the start is so great, and then like just goes away. I'm just like no
you just
motivated.
lose your
What's the next step?
motivation.
That is
I
gonna
go on to
piss
the
so
next thing.
many people who are grinding and grinding and grinding
Yeah,
off right
they
now.
get
They're
to
like,
that
dude, I'm
point.
trying to make it to this much. And he's like, I was at like 999,000 subscribers. I was like, you know
Yeah,
what? I
I
don't want
stopped.
it. I don't want it.
I don't
Yeah,
want that anymore.
It's not
I've
worth
started
it.
like 4 YouTube channels. I got all up. I've done like a stock one, 2 gaming ones, and just like weird stuff. And I always get it right to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm starting to gain traction. Stop.
That's
You
insane.
hit your climax, and nope, we're
Wow.
done.
I can't even imagine that because I'm like so willing to do a lot for this podcast and like this YouTube. I can't
Yeah.
imagine what it would be like to get all the way up there and then just lose motivation for it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I think I'd force
Yeah,
myself
dude.
to do it.
If we had 500,000 subs for this podcast or on YouTube or whatever, dude, I'd shave my head. And this man's like, you know what?
Yeah,
I think
would
I'm gonna
too.
pursue a different
Done.
career. Like what?
Yeah.
Listen,
I-
I mean, in the end, do
Wow.
whatever makes you happy, I guess.
Bro,
I just can't
obviously,
imagine
yeah.
dropping it.
I know. It's what doesn't make sense to me because like when I like because TikTok's the highest like follower count I've ever had, obviously because it's like a lot. When I was like starting off, I'm like, oh my god, like 100 people saw my TikTok. I was like, this is crazy. And then all of a sudden, like numbers just became numbers. So like when I got to like a video, like the first video I had that hit like 5 million views, I was like, oh my god, I was like 5 million people saw this. And then all of a sudden my videos would get like 20,000. I was like 20,000. I was like, what the heck is this? I was like, so now like 20,000 a week ago was bonkers, but then it's like, oh, 20,000. Okay. So it's like I think like those numbers like when you like streaming, like I would have hundreds of people watching me at once, like 300, 400 people on Twitch. And then all of a sudden you go back down to 80 and you're like, okay, 80 would get you partnered. But 80 is not 500 people. So it's
Right.
like I don't know if that's just like what happens, but something happens. I don't know
Now,
why.
everyone that was viewing you knows that you just saw them as a number and not an actual person.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think I can't comprehend how many people that is. Like
Yeah,
5 million people.
it's
Jesus.
a lot of people.
I was happy with our 150 views on our podcast.
Yeah, no kidding.
Dude, we got like 170 views. I was like, that's insane. I was like, we're nuts.
We're
Yeah.
making like pennies over here. And we're like, hell yeah, let's keep
Yeah,
going.
we're like,
Exactly.
baby, we're bringing on former esports. He's like, yeah, a couple million, it's whatever.
A couple million, you
Happens.
know.
Bad
Happens.
month, bad week.
So I know you transitioned away from esports. Obviously, you're like retired,
Mhm.
basically. What do
Yeah.
you do now?
I do a whole bunch. So like I
He
said, like
mows
my
grass.
yeah, I
That's
mow
all he
grass
does.
every day. So
Local
it was
handyman.
kind of yeah, I'm a plumber on the side. You know, plumber crack. They made that game off me.
Nice. Nice.
Throwback for you. But when I was out there like playing, I don't know if you know like Sensor, how he wears like tank tops or
Yeah.
whatever because he's got like big arms. I
Didn't he
was kind
drop
of
from a team because they wouldn't give him a tank top or what?
I think
Something
so.
like that happened.
Complexity gave him one, and I messaged them. I was like, "Yo, can I get a tank top?" They're like, "Oh no, it's just for him." And I said, "Oh, sad face."
I'll start lifting more if you give me.
Sad.
I'll take
Yeah.
creatine. Please give me a
Yeah,
cutoff.
please pay for my gym. I'll get it going. I tried reaching out to him because I was like, hey, because we were like kind of the same thing. Like in the Clash scene, I was the buff guy or the jacked guy, even though I was tiny.
There's no way.
Yeah, I know. So I'd always wear tank tops on my stream. I guess that's how I got it. It's just like I was tank top guy. But yeah, I was like, yo, you want to do like a collab sometime? He never reached back out. I was like, no.
Oh.
But then like a week later, he got traded. I was like, oh. that
Oh,
probably
well,
makes
that's
sense.
why. That's why.
Oh,
They,
yep,
they
exactly.
found out and they were like, get rid of him.
Get him
He
out.
He didn't answer to him. Pish posh,
Get him,
whatever.
get him out.
Yeah.
So I'm a personal trainer now. I work at Orange Theory Fitness, but like I said, my YouTuber friends, they get me into like all the new latest stuff. So like when the crypto pump was going in, Dogecoin like at a fifth of a cent or something, they're like, dude, whole life savings into Dogecoin, I swear. And I'm like, oh, okay. I put in like $100. All of a sudden it goes up to like 20,000. I'm like, okay, why didn't I put my whole life savings into this? I'm like, what's going on? So
That's
then
awesome.
they're like, okay, well now you got to do this, and now I'm doing crypto mining. It's like, okay, all right. So I put in a bunch of money into crypto mining, and then they're like, oh, now you got crypto games, and they're making their own games and stuff. And I'm like, okay, crypto games. Here we go. Put it
I
in
didn't
there.
even know about that one.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know about
it's
that one
like
at all.
it's so weird. Like you play
But,
video
like,
games and you get
Mario
paid crypto.
Bros. And you get
Yeah,
nice.
it's like you pay to play. I'm like, well, I'm already playing, so I mean, might as well make money, right?
That's insane.
Why
So
not? Jeez.
they give me all these like latest stuff because they're always the first ones to hear because they promote it.
Right.
So it's just so and they're like one of the reasons I started like my stock TikTok because I was like, oh well, stocks are big because like the big crash that everybody's making money. So it's like, oh, push that around and then GameStop going to the moon. It's like, oh, that boosts my channel up. So it's just like I'm all over the place. I gotta touch my foot in everything. Again, I like to start stuff, but I never finish it.
So what about sponsors? I don't remember if I ever asked you, but did you ever get any sponsors?
TikTok, I've gotten a sponsor. It's not related to gaming. It was like a shaving thing. I probably
I can
still
see
have
it.
it. Yeah, it's like an all-in-one shaver. It's like a four blades in one, and like you can just go in one stroke. It's super.
Sounds like an easy way
Careful,
to
are you
hurt
still
yourself.
sponsored?
Yeah.
You can't say anything
I
wrong
think it was.
about it.
Yeah, I think it was like the back of the neck. Like you
Huh.
can just like do it in one go.
That sounds scary. I
Yeah,
don't know
that
why
sounds
would
really
do
I
that.
know.
scary.
It sounds
And
really
there's
like
handles on it. It's kind of
Oh.
reminding me of like a saw, like one
Oh.
of those huge
It's
saws.
just sawing my fucking neck off. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
let's get all these preteens to fucking order this.
Yeah.
These
It's
12
a
and
great
13-year-old
investment.
boys.
Just slowly move
Yeah,
the
they don't know
cost
any
just
better.
go around town. But other
Oh my
than
gosh.
that, I mean, obviously Complexity was sponsored by stuff, so I got some like keyboards and headphones and stuff like that,
Nice.
which
No
was
G
really
Fuel?
cool. No G Fuel.
Failure.
Allegedly, I stole this keyboard from the 100 Thieves house.
Allegedly?
What kind is it?
Allegedly, it's an iBuyPower.
Those aren't those the ones that just come with the computers that they send?
Yeah.
They're
I
like
think
free?
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but my friend he said, "Oh yeah, you can have my keyboard. They'll just buy me another one." I said, "Okay," so I took
He
it.
took it. And
Allegedly,
then
you
they
took
bought him
it.
one, and he's like, he
Well,
took
they bought
it.
him another one. Well, he gave it
Oh.
to me, but it's
Oh.
like, well, if you just say it's like, I need another one. I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know how to
I
describe
broke
it,
it.
but I was like, yeah. Oh no, the keyboard.
Oh no,
It doesn't
snaps
work.
over a knee.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
So I was
funny.
like, well, thanks. And then I got a keyboard from Complexity, even though we didn't play on the computer. But they got us like fancy computers, man. They were like $5,000 computers, and that was like in the prime age of like Fortnite, like 2017,
yeah, that was like, I
2018.
would say that was like almost 5 years ago.
So those computers probably still hold up nowadays.
Yeah, no, they were
Probably.
probably still like $2,000. I came back to my house. I used my computer. I was like, dude, this seems like the library computer from like school. I'm like, can't even run Minecraft. So I
That's
got
cool.
really spoiled with those
That's
and their
unreal.
streaming.
I mean,
Yeah.
at the current point, all of our PC marketing bullshit's at you could sell a fucking RX 5570 for like a $500, dude. It's fucking
Yeah,
stupid.
Yeah.
they're crazy.
I know.
Yeah. When I bought a pre-built like last year because mine I ended up frying my motherboard on my other one.
Good job.
And I got it with a 3060 in it for 1400. I could rip out that 3060 and sell it for 3000 when I bought it.
Exactly.
I was like, this
They're
is an insane
great.
deal.
You could
That's
still
what I said.
probably sell it for $2,000.
Mhm.
Alright, I'd still probably
Yeah.
make my money back if I ripped it out right now. Anyway.
The crypto mining's just absolutely destroying.
I was gonna say,
prices.
how are you doing that without absolutely destroying everything about you, PC? Like, how is that
Dude,
not?
my basement's like 110 degrees. Like,
Is it really?
in the storage room, it is hot. We have not had to turn on the heat all year.
Oh my gosh!
I said I need to be getting some tax money back. but-
My gas bill's $20 a month. 'Cause I just got a PC running 24/7. Electric's like 5,000 a month
yeah.
though.
Yeah, we get those savings in.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
So I know you put your foot in the door on a lot of things. Is there anything you want to go back to at some point or think about going back to? Or maybe even going back to like a professional game at some point, something that you're interested in?
Yeah, I've had prior to COVID, like I said, like I was offered to be a manager for the 1 year, and then the following year, like at the start of 2020, like probably like January, I had another offer to go back out. I want to say for Liquid, to be a 2v2 specialist because that was like my main thing that I was really good at because I'm good with communicating and stuff.
Okay.
And 2v2, so I'd be like a backup role kind of for 2v2 just to help them play. Um, but then obviously COVID happened and everything got messed up, and yeah, so the league is kind of done now. As far as the team aspect, they're doing solos only again, which has basically killed the competitive scene because no
Yeah.
one, you can't, there's no stage, no like performance or anything like that. It's just everything's online, which that's how it was before, but you still had like casters and stuff like at a scene or at like a site like performing and like talking and stuff, which was cool to watch. But now it's just like you just watch the game, and I'm like, I want to see the people, hear the action. I'm like, that's it's
Yeah,
just
It's
it's
gotta
what
be
made
some
it cool.
entertainment. Yeah.
yeah,
Panning to the crowd, seeing everyone like dressed up playing, and then showing the people on stage for like that was what made it cool. That's what esports are about. It's supposed to be an event. You're
exactly.
supposed to go to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't, you know.
and that was probably the coolest thing is when I went to like the World Finals. It was out in LA, so I got to. This was the year after I finished, so I got to meet all my friends that I made like over the year. We snuck into like some VIP party or something. It was open bar, open food. It was in some like mega center or whatever, and there was just a bunch of like famous people around. You're just like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, I don't know where I'm at right now, but I don't know how I got here.
I
It's all
play
these like,
Clash
yeah, I
Royale.
play Clash Royale. Well, the I don't know. We snuck in because you had to have your name on this list to get in, and it's like I want to say it's like 10 o'clock after the World Finals, and the World Finals were crazy. Like it was probably the best game of Clash Royale history. You can literally Google like best game of Clash Royale history, and then it will show the match, and the whole audience just like flying out of their seats and everything. But this party you had to sign up on this like VIP list, which was like through a website. And for whatever reason, my friend hooked me up with the link, and I was like, well, we can try to sign up. Like, what's the worst? We don't get
Don't
in,
get it.
right? So I'm like, okay. So we put our name down, me and my friend who I was with, and we go to this party and we show up and they're like, it's like super secure. Like they got like beefy dudes like in the line, like security guards. I'm like, oh, we're about to get like tossed right now. So we go up to the thing and we pull up our ID and they check it and they're like, oh, I don't see you. And they're on an iPad or whatever. I'm like, oh, dang it. I'm like, okay, we're not going to get in. I was like, oh, did you refresh it? And she refreshed because we signed up like 5 minutes earlier. Refresh it. And there we are. I said, yeah, we're in.
Wow, that's insane.
And it
Tell
was
me
this,
you don't see Chachi on there? Come
yeah,
on now.
come on. You know who I am. I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So we get in there and it's this really cool like retro gamer bar, but it's like with new games that haven't come out yet. So it's like awesome. Well, we got to see like there was the NFL team that was there, like the Cowboys. So like Ezekiel Elliott's there. So it's like just like cool to see all these like dudes, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? But
That's
my
crazy.
flight leaves at like 3 in the morning. I said it's like midnight, so I said I gotta go home, man.
Yeah.
So we had to leave, which they paid for our Ubers and stuff there. They just give you a card, and it's like $100 voucher. I'm like,
Wow.
on God. I said, all right, put it in. I go home. I made a pancake, and they're having. I split a room with like my old roommates, and they were having a party in our house. I said, "What?" I said, okay, well, sorry, I didn't invite you. I didn't know
I'm
this was going down, but
trying
made
to
a
eat
pancake.
pancakes and go to bed,
Yeah,
man. Get out of here. I gotta
get out of
leave.
here. Packed up my suitcase and left. I was like, man, I almost canceled my flight and stayed.
I don't know. It would have been tempting.
That is
But
insane. It's insane that esports and regular sports is mixing so well. Like you just
yeah,
said you met, or I don't know if you met him, but you said you saw Ezekiel Elliott there. It's
yeah.
crazy to think that Clash Royale and Ezekiel Elliott somehow
Mhm.
kind of like snuck together at some point.
Yeah, so we had the Madden guy for Complexity at this event with us, and he was just playing them all in Madden. So it's just like you sit down, you play against him. He beat everybody like bad. He play like blindfolded like half a round. I'm just like this guy's too good. So it's just like we got to meet them all and stuff. So that was awesome, going to their training camp and stuff. But
That's nuts.
it's just a weird people you meet. You never know who you're gonna meet and when. But
Is there any other type of video game that you want to become a professional in, or is there anything you play that you're just interested in getting a lot better at?
Roblox.
Roblox Pluro scene? Hell yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, I probably could go pro in Minecraft, like Hunger Games, like that. I
Oh,
was
okay.
so good at that.
Next
Like,
dream.
yeah,
Yes.
no, not anymore. I just, that game's like dead, dying, and like I don't know.
Yeah.
But and also, if you said you went pro in Minecraft, like R.I.P. the
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah. Really.
Clash Royale is already on that bottom totem pole. If you go
Yeah.
Minecraft, man, I don't know what
Literally a
else is under that.
children's game.
Right. Minecraft Pocket Edition.
That's why you get a girl, get a wife first, and then you.
And then,
And
well, I
then you
said it.
drop the bomb that you're. Yeah.
There you go. So what do you do? Oh, I'm a professional. Yeah, a professional what? Professional athlete.
Hey
Oh,
there.
what? No way! No way!
That's
Yeah, I play
exactly what you tell him. Yep. Yep.
I don't know. Axie Infinity is a game. It's one of the crypto games that I just started. It's kind of reminds me of Pokemon in its sense. Like it's card. You like attack their person and they attack you back, kind of deal.
Okay.
I'm really good at strategy games, so I'm bad at League of Legends. I'm bronze. I'm a Teemo main.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
If there was wood or dirt, I would be in that league. Like I am so bad. Apex, I'm like okay at, but I think I need a better computer. Oh, I could totally go pro in totally accurate Battlegrounds just because nobody plays that
Oh
game.
man.
But-
There's literally like a player base of like 40 players.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm always in like the top 10. I'm like, yeah,
Hell
I'm there.
yeah.
He said
That's 40
easy
people.
dubs.
Yeah. But again, like I think I need a computer to be able to stream it. I mean, I spent like $1,000. I think I have a 1060. Like,
Oh, that's pretty sad.
yeah. So
I'm not gonna lie.
professional gamer, and I got a 1060.
Yeah.
But other
That's
than
a
that,
big
tough.
oof.
Rocket League, I'm not very good at. I think I'm plat, which is
I'm
fine.
terrible.
That's
yeah.
average.
I
Yeah.
just
I'm
demo people.
absolute dog water.
Dude, that's all you need to do. If you watch any of the new pros games, literally
Yeah.
there's like a designated like ball or like a demo
Demoer.
chaser.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
I
I
could
can
do
be
that.
that guy.
You
I guess
you
I
might
do
have a
that.
chance. Yeah, me and
I
you,
said
we'll
fake.
pair up one day. We'll play
We'll
some
pair
twos.
up.
I got you. I'll do all the fancy tricks and the flip resets, and you
Yeah.
just go with the.
Yeah.
And it's nuts.
Get him.
He's absolutely nuts at Rocket League.
I am
That's what-
not as good as I used to be. I promise.
You're still better than the average person.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
that's-
Brandon,
That is true.
do you remember Brandon Vickery, Austin? Or
I remember the name. Oh yeah.
he is so good at it.
Really?
He's like also at that tier of like elite. So I said maybe we can run trios. I'll just demo them, and you guys can like
We
flip
got
it
you.
to each other in the air, and then
Hell yeah.
we'll all go pro together.
I'll start playing again just for that because I haven't fucking touched that game in a minute.
Yeah.
I am so bad at that game.
Well,
I stick to like I'm decent at battle royales, but first person shooters. I mean, COD I'm better than the
Yeah.
average person, but I'm not playing Rocket League and doing well.
Yeah.
I'm here for you for Valorant all day long.
Yeah, he's pretty solid at Valorant. He's definitely the better one in the friend group.
Yeah. I used to be good at CS:GO. I'd be like, I think it's like MGM or something.
holy
That's
shit.
great.
Yeah, I couldn't get past Silver 2.
Oh. But once you get out of that, and like also I went through like a CS:GO gambling like thing. I'd go like nothing to
Oh,
a
no.
knife, and like then I was like I was winning all these things, and then I just stopped.
How many
I stopped
knives have you
CS:GO.
opened?
I was like, no, I'm done. Like I
This
good
guy.
enough, and I'm done.
How many knives have you opened? Have you opened
no,
any?
like I would do it like on like betting. I would bet on like teams.
But you never actually
pro
opened
teams.
cases?
No, it was
I
too
got
expensive.
2 knives. I've opened 2 knives.
Too
Dang.
expensive. You hear this guy?
Yeah, it was
They
like
were worth-
$5 for a key.
Expensive. I know he's traveling across the world and country, and he's like, dude, I can't spend 20
Well, that's all
bucks. Come on
free,
now.
you know. They pay for it all. They're like food and housing and everything. You're just like,
So,
But-
so if you're comfortable, is there any like rough number you can give us on how much they gave you? That's only if you're
It's-
comfortable. You don't have to.
yeah. It's enough to like you could live off it for sure. And
For the
I was
year?
like a backup. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I was a backup, so I know some people that were making like 6 figs. It was
Really?
Holy shit!
Yeah.
In Clash
And
Royale?
uh-huh.
Fuck, I
and
gotta
then
start
you get
grinding that
like
game again.
yeah.
Dude, in the prime, man, that thing was intense. Like if you
Mhm.
tuned on and watched that on YouTube, like there was like 150,000 people watching, and it just looked insane.
Yeah. It's crazy, but I got a car and stuff with mine, so
Did you really?
it's good.
Damn.
It's a good time. And
Yeah.
then plus they pay for everything, so it's just money in the bank. So
Right.
they pay for food, housing, and You just stack it up.
Fuck, maybe I need to start grinding again on Rocket League. Get some fucking
Yeah.
signs.
Oh, stupid question. What was the device they gave you to play on?
Oh, this was one of the dumbest things ever.
Because they
So
never look like really nice phones or really nice
yeah, they were.
iPads or whatever.
I think they were using like a Google phone or whatever because
What?
they were sponsored by
Interesting.
Google or something in
Oh, okay.
Asia, but not in our league. I don't know.
It was like
I
pixels?
think they. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I know in
I just remember
Asia or the
watching
World
it and they were
Finals, it
just
was like,
small and like.
yeah. So you get the option between an iPad or the iPhone for us, and then Worlds it was like Google, and the year after that it was all Google for everybody. I was like, okay, but it always would have like a glitch. Like they'd give us like the cheap like sixes or something, and when there was like the 10 at the time was the new one. I'm like, you guys are giving us $1 million to play this game, and you can't even get the latest and greatest stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
I
why
don't know.
every time I watched it and I saw him like zoom in on the phone, I'm like, what is that? I was like, what?
But
Like, I was like, there's such nicer phones now. Why are they
I
playing on
know,
that?
and like the ones that we like practice with again, like because we would use the ones that they would use, so we'd buy the six, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, it's like $200. I was like, all right, whatever. But they, when you're on stage, it's super weird because like you have like a thing plugged into your phone because they need to be able to see your video feed just in case you like cheat or whatever. Which this was a big thing. Was a lot of players wanted to listen to music when they played for like that's just that got
That's how
them
they
in their
played.
zone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because Clash Royale is a very like for me, I can't do homework and listen to music at the same time. I need to just focus at it.
Me too, man.
But it's like you're counting cards like what cards does he have in his hand? How much elixir does he have? Like you're like every 1.9 seconds you're like, okay, he's got another elixir. So you're just like counting in your head, doing all these like things, and you're like, okay, music. No. They're like music, you could cheat. I said, how can you cheat with music?
I
I don't know
couldn't
how
cheat with
this
music.
So I was like, and they're like, plus you have to wear our headphones. I said, well, you could just put like AirPods and have them. They're like, no, you could cheat. And I was like, okay, yeah, somebody could like talk to you during it. I was like, sure, but I said everyone in the studios
Oh, and like see, like live
2 feet
stream it and then
away.
like,
Yeah, I'm
Right.
like everybody's like lives. It's 2 feet away in the studio. I said there would be a delay anyways on the live feed, so if anybody's not in the studio, I was like, I don't know. But instead of music or game sound, even like game sound, I'd be fine with game sound, right?
I don't play games then.
You know the fire alarm that just went off?
Yeah.
And just imagine that on full blast in your ears.
What?
It's
Really?
TV static. Just
Really?
as
Oh my
loud as
God.
possible. You can't like you have a headphone for the 2v2 like just like the one I have like a gamer headphone to talk to your teammate. You're literally screaming into it to be able to hear the other person because you're like trying to be like, "Okay, yeah, I'm putting it here. Okay, yeah, I'm putting it here. Okay, awesome." No, it's just TV static. So if you're in the studio with everyone else, again, you're sitting right behind them, so you're like 2 feet away. They're screaming at the top of their lungs, and you're just behind them, like, and the whole room is quiet, just like
Oh
like the
yeah.
whole stage, because we didn't have people at the time that we did it, just so that, like, if anything happened glitchy wise for the first season, like they could cut it.
Right.
But that was just something I was not like, what the heck is going on? It was so loud that like you could hear the static from their headphones, and they were wearing the soundproof headphones,
Hmm.
like ones that you use to shoot guns, kind of like
Right.
those kind of like soundproof headphones. You could still hear it like as loud as like someone's talking to you. So
Yikes.
that was a surprise.
Sounds
That's
like you need Tylenol on hand.
Yeah, it
that
was
actually
bad.
that actually makes a lot of sense now because going back and watching some like other like esport like behind the scene things,
Mhm.
every single time you watch them, they're always yelling, and I've always wondered if they're just like that
Yeah,
like focused and like energized about what they're doing. No, because apparently they can't fucking hear anything.
yeah,
That's probably
seriously.
true. Yeah.
I've never.
Yeah,
I was always wondering if it was just like they were that hyped about playing that one match, even if they're like losers bracket, like final like
they could
elimination.
be too.
Have you
Right.
seen
Yeah.
any of like the COD champs or any of like the last Cold War, like any of the league play they were doing?
A
You didn't
tiny
like
bit.
they would like tune in. They're like, no, let's listen in with Atlanta FaZe, and all you hear is, and you just can't hear anything. And I'm like, how do they know where he's calling him out? I have no idea what he's saying.
Or there's
Yeah.
It's
so
just
many
nuts.
people talking over each other. Like, how the fuck can you tell who's
Yeah, I don't
talking
know. I
about
don't know.
who? I mean, I'm sure you probably didn't have to
Yeah.
deal with that because
Lots of
you had
practice.
one other person to worry about. But
Yeah. Well, we knew that they were gonna add this static or whatever because they did a test run the week before like the league started, and they said, okay, we're gonna do it with game sound, and then the players voted game sound or black noise, like the fuck TV static, And they picked TV Static. I said, well, who
Why?
the hell? I said, oh no. They said
I'd
they don't
rather
want to
see
hear
you
the
talk.
music in the game. I said, why? I said, if someone sends in like a rocket with a goblin barrel behind it and you can't see it, you can hear it.
That's
I
true.
said, disadvantage. I said, why? I don't know why, but
That's
they
a good
picked it.
point.
So we knew. So
didn't think
when
about
we played our game on the 2v2 set, practicing the week before, our manager made us wear headphones and blasted TV Static in our ear for 2 hours. So when I took it off, literally my ears were still like ringing because of the
That
static.
is
But I said it
insane.
was so loud that when we went and played in the studio, it was quiet. So I said, well, we over prepared. So, and we
Better-
won. So
Better to be
that's all
over
that
prepared.
matters.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Yeah.
it was so whack.
Oh my gosh.
So weird.
Was there
Yuck.
any I know esports and sports have one major difference in my opinion.
Hmm?
Sports have actual like injuries
Athletes?
that happen. Okay,
Oh.
well,
I'll There's a big difference.
that quote unquote athletes tend to get injured a lot more in traditional sports rather than esports. Was there ever a case where somebody couldn't play because they like hurt their fingers or something stupid like that?
Jammed finger.
Right.
Well,
Finger crimp.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty.
What?
Look at them
Oh
fingers,
my
though. He's
God.
got long fingers.
Yeah, I got them long fingers. No, so I mean, if you know me, I'm always injured. Like I've torn my quad, hamstring, calf, like you name it, I've done it. Like a broken arm. So, you're playing games a lot, and where we would practice, we would sit in the chairs downstairs with your armrests. So I actually got tetanus elbow from having my arms like on the the rest. You're playing a lot.
He moved his hands as soon as that. He's like,
He's like, I can't
Yeah.
do this anymore.
So like the nerve in your elbow is just like constantly like inflamed and hurts and stuff. So I had to move. We had to. It was my teammates were very creatures of habit. So like they would play in their room on their beds, and we would have to play downstairs in the chairs. So they weren't happy when I said this because I said I have to keep my arms straight. So I said I'm just going to go lay down on the bed upstairs because we had different rooms and stuff. And they're like, well, we can hear you guys. So I said, well, then you guys come downstairs. I said, we're going up there. So like for 3 days, they had to practice downstairs, and they were not happy. And we kicked their butt for those 3 days because I guess it affected them that much. I was like, okay.
got in their head.
But no, other than that, nothing crazy. I mean, one of our teammates had to go and get his teeth removed. He had a horrible infection, and he had to get like 2 teeth pulled. So he
Jeez.
was, and like since he's from a different country, his like medical didn't carry over, so he couldn't get painkillers for like a day. So he was just in
gosh.
horrid pain,
Oh my
laying
god.
there. But
I cannot imagine.
yeah, it's like kind of like getting your wisdom teeth taken out and then just not being able to have.
I'm just
And
telling
then
him to
just
suck
punch
it
in the
up.
face afterwards, and
Yeah.
just no painkillers whatsoever.
So
It's like we're not
I
gonna
mean,
numb anything. We're just gonna rip these guys out. Hope you don't.
Yeah,
Hope you don't
just
mind.
get 'em out. But then he got his painkillers, and he was like, obviously sluggish and stuff, but he was fine. So
Jeez.
yeah, it was an adventure. A lot of weird stories and stuff of teammates.
Yeah.
That stuff happens.
So
So
would you do it again if you could?
Yeah, in a heartbeat for sure. This time, lesson learned. Moral of the story: you don't need school, kids. Drop out of school. Drop
Just
out.
download as many mobile games as you can
You
and
can.
try. Just try. That's all you
try.
gotta do.
you gotta be good at
And-
one of them.
Girls
Well,
are
eventually you'll
temporary.
find one.
You can take them out.
Right.
You guys ever heard of Raid Shadow Legends? I'm
Yeah.
guaranteed there's a pro league for it.
Yeah, seriously.
There will
For the
be.
amount of money they spent on ads, they might as well start a
That
whole.
would have been a great sponsor segment. We're like, hey, we're sponsored by Raid.
Right.
Yeah. No, but if they come out with like they're going back to their old format, I'll be signing up, and I'm pretty sure I could get opportunity. So
That's
That'd be-
insane.
it'd be fun for sure. I think if there was an opportunity to do it remote, that'd probably be where I'd be right now because I'm probably going to be starting to enter into the real world and stuff, like getting a real job. So,
Getting
but,
a real job.
yeah. But it could always go on hold because hey, gamers, man, you never know.
Oh, wow.
Gamers
Because
got
hey, if we
game.
win worlds, you get that $1 million.
Oh
That's
my
a pretty
gosh,
good
that'd be
paycheck.
Is it still $1 million prize pool?
I think it's still $1 million.
Okay, I have to say that is insane because I would argue because Rocket League has such a bigger scene. They've
Oh, yeah.
only had $1 million prize ever, and they had to
Really?
split it like 8 different ways with like 8 different teams. Like the winning team only got like $500,000.
Yeah, I think that's how it was. Like first place is like, or no, yeah, it was 2.6 million total. So it's like, yeah, first place was like a million. Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, I mean, Supercell's got to be a bigger company
Oh,
than
yeah,
what
yeah,
Psyonix or whatever who makes it.
Science just got
yeah.
bought out by Epic Games though.
Okay, well,
Well,
but
now
isn't
maybe.
Supercell is
Yeah,
owned by someone else? Like their parent company is like even just
Bigger.
massive, isn't
Yeah.
it?
probably.
They just sold like a couple years ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. But super fun fact. Like, so for whatever, I think it was because, okay, this was like one of the big controversies of like the league was they filmed it vertically. So if you're watching it on your computer, you have the black bars, like if you're watching like an old YouTube video type
Right.
deal.
Mhm.
But on the phone, since you play Clash Royale vertically, like on the phone, it fits perfectly. So the big controversy was everybody wanted it horizontal, so that way you could watch it on like a TV or whatever. So they could only fit
Uh,
3 people on the bench plus your manager on the bench, and there's 5 people on the team. So one person had to just not be on
Get
set.
cut out. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was super weird. So one time I got kicked out and I was sitting in like the lobby, like watching the broadcast, like with all the production people and the hosts and stuff. I was flirting with this Chrissy St. John. She's like this hot actor now. I was like, "Hey, girl." She's like, "Hey." She's like, "How old are you?" And I was like, "Oh, too young." But
I don't
I
want
was
you to go to
trying.
jail.
yeah, we'll try it next time. I could probably hit her up now. She's, I don't know, but
Think she'll remember you?
anyways, oh yeah,
Oh,
she
I'm sure.
remember me. Yeah, she got
You're
it.
the
She
boy who
got
wasn't
it.
cool enough to be on the actual thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
Oh,
had to
you're
sit
the
in the
loser
back.
that
That's
played
me.
Clash Royale and didn't even get
That's me.
hosted.
Yeah, but I was sitting back there, and the dude that like owns Supercell was there. I was like, dang. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna sit
You
next
start
to him.
you start pitching game ideas.
Well, kinda. So
Really?
I
That's
sit next
cool.
to him, and he's like, something just seems off with this. I said, yeah, it's probably because it's in vertical. And he's like, you're right. He's like, but we spent too much money on the vertical set. Like, is there anything you want to like recommend to like help the production? And I was
Turn
like,
it to the
oh.
side.
I said, yeah. I said, well, you
Yeah.
can just turn the cameras. I said, just turn them around because I said
Crack.
the horizontal. But I was like, oh yeah, you could move the cameras here, make this bigger. I said, we need a scoreboard. I said, no, if you just join randomly, you don't know what the score is. I said, add this, add this. He's like, huh? What's your name? I said, well, my in-game name is Chache. I said, so if you want to load me up with some gems, you can go do that.
They get like $200 worth of gems.
Hook me
But I
up.
was like, oh, my real name Chandler. I was like, yeah. He's like, he followed me on like Twitter or something. He's like, we'll stay in touch. He said, those
What?
are good ideas. I was like, all right. I think he unfollowed me though because I started not being in the scene or anything. But
Damn.
He's
I
like,
also got kicked out of the
fell
Supercell
off.
program because I didn't post anymore too. But
Damn.
how it goes.
That's
But
along with the
I
whole,
deserve it. So
one
yeah.
foot in, two
One
hops
foot in,
out.
1 foot out. Yep. I said I get put in the program with all these like hella famous YouTubers, all doing like any Supercell game. So Clash Royale, Heyday, bro. I'm gonna go pro in Heyday next.
I told you, man. Hey, that's the
Heyday.
next one. That's the next big
Heyday's
one.
the next banger.
Is
And you can collab with these people. Like they pay you, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go on a run instead. Let's just
Wow.
not do this anymore. So yeah.
That's nuts, dude.
Sad
How
thing.
how did you not do collab
I
videos with like
That's
the
what I'm
big
saying.
content creators?
Well, I said, granted, like people like Clash of the Ash and stuff, like they wouldn't like collab with me because it doesn't make sense for them. But
Right.
True.
like my friends, like Jake and stuff, like he said he would make an appearance on mine, even though he had like I think at the time like 300,000 subs or something. So it's like that's still a lot,
Oh,
way
yeah.
more than I had. But then people like my level that I brought in with me, they would also collab with me and stuff, or they would, which
That's
was cool.
cool.
But yeah,
Yeah, you should have
I don't
like vlogged some of this shit so
yeah.
we could like
I made
go
like a
back
vlog
and like
of the
reminisce.
finals, but
Did you?
other than that, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, definitely make
Yeah.
sure you give us your socials. We'll throw them in the description here.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I doubt
Yeah.
no one's ever gonna actually watch it, but if they do,
No.
they'll check you out.
I'll I'll send you the video of me with Christy as well. She did an interview with me at
This guy.
the only game I played in because like we were guaranteed to make the playoffs. So me and my roommate, which were backups, because I was only a backup the whole time. Like we
So
were
it's like a
2v2.
football game when you're winning by
Yeah.
4 touchdowns, and they're like, you know
Exactly,
what?
and they're
Get in
like,
there.
"Come on in."
there.
So like this, I mean, I was like the backup. Like I coached or became the manager a couple times. This is why I was able to like do the manager role or like qualify for it. Like so, I'd give like the pregame speeches. I was like, "All right, guys, we're gonna go out there and kick their butt and stuff like that." And they're like filming it. But that's like the one time that like I got like my face put in the app. Like I was like on the main screen. They're like, "Check it out, we're live right now," and it's just me there, and I'm like, "Oh, dope." So
That's cool.
it was cool, and I got to do the interview. But we had to do the interview like 3 times. So by the 3rd time, I forgot like what. The first time was golden. Second time was all right. 3rd time, I like said something that I didn't mean to say, but I was like, "Oh, they're just gonna redo it anyways." And then that's the one they keep. I was like,
figure, yeah.
"Oh." So the commentators are super confused. They're like, "Oh, he's coming out with like this brand new deck. We never used the brand new deck." And I was like, they're like, "Yeah, this still isn't a new deck. Like, I don't understand what he's saying." And then like afterwards, they're like, "So where's the new deck?" And I was like,
What new day?
"Oh, what new deck?" Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking
oh.
about. You should have used the
So
first
mad.
take, dickheads.
Yeah, I know. I was like, "Come on, this is the part that's pre-recorded. Let's go."
Why wouldn't you use the one I told you to use?
Yeah.
Please tell
I was
me
like-
you guys didn't walk around the house and like use like Clash Royale jokes. Like you didn't say.
Oh
anything.
my
Like, I can
God.
just imagine that. Like I don't know why, but I can
I
just.
just-
Like what kind of joke, Austin? What
I-
what do you
Yeah,
Oh, I
I'm
got
looking
one.
at-
I got one. You just
Go
walk.
ahead and say it.
Yeah, you just walk around and your roommate's mad. And you're like, "Don't you dare get that rage potion out!" Something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
you get
that's what
angry.
I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something.
Yeah.
Jordan's shaking his head. He hates that.
Yeah, it was disgusting. but I
Shake
can
my head,
imagine
my
it.
head, you fucking loser.
This is probably the weirdest thing about the whole thing is we never called each other by our names. We call each other by our gamer tags. So I was Chache, there's El Jefe, Colton W83. I mean, Colton, we just called Colt. No, I called him Colt Town, because that was his nickname. And then
Okay.
it's like Mobile Matt. And then Adrian Piedra, that was his name and his in-game name. But it's like, those were, like, we'd call each other just be like, Jefe. And it'd be like, I don't even remember his real name anymore. But like
It
that's
doesn't
just
matter.
so weird. But we also would watch every night. Well, I never watched it because I always thought the show was weird. But we'd watch Bob's, Bobs, Bob's. It's called Game of Thrones, but there's a lot of Bobs in it. So
Huh.
that was the nickname. So
Okay.
a lot of boobs. So they'd watch that every night, but I would go to bed.
Yeah.
And then I'd wake up at like 8 a.m. and they would wake up at like 1 p.m. And
Oh my God.
so that's like why we weren't on the same schedule.
That's the reason, right?
Yeah,
Not because you're a house full of gamers.
exactly.
All right. Well, I think we're about to wrap it up. It's been about an hour. I do want to do one more thing, though. Only if you're okay with it.
I'm scared. What
You said you were a manager. You gave the pep talks. I wanted you to give everyone an inspirational pep talk before we sign off.
That's a good idea.
It could
I
be-
need inspiration.
It could be about video games. It could be about life. It could just.
Well, I'm headed to
do...
bed soon, so give me a bed pep talk.
Right.
Hey, I got a good GoPro one. All right.
Go. Okay. Bring it
all
on.
Alright.
This is for everyone listening.
Hey guys, Chachi here. If you ever have thought, even crossed your mind of becoming a pro gamer, well, guess what? You need to not be like me and put one foot in, one foot out. You need to put the whole freaking foot in there. Shove it up. Oh, what's the podcast?
Yeah, you say whatever you want.
Chris. Yo,
The sausage fest. You need to shove that foot so far up sausage fest ass that these guys invite you to be on their podcast. All right, that's how far you gotta go.
Hell yeah, dude.
There you
That
go.
was great. Jordan's dying. I got fucking tears in my eyes, dude. That was awesome.
I feel motivated. I'm about to hap on Clash as
There we
soon as
go.
this is over.
Right?
without
Oh,
getting it.
heyday! We're going heyday.
You're right.
guys.
You're right. Heyday. My
Heyday.
bad.
Heyday in Minecraft.
I'm about to go on Rocket League. Fuck all that.
Do it.
all
Only live
right.
once, baby. YOLO.
All right. Okay,
I'm
we're,
crying.
we're gonna wrap
I'm
it
just
up.
imagining everyone listening to this. If anyone who
There's-
listens is,
On their phone.
well, yeah, that too. But they're just like, man, this dude did all this stuff, got all this money, and now he's on.
Just
this
threw it
podcast.
away.
He's
You know how
on
much
this
money you
podcast?
just fucking tossed out the window.
Oh my god.
He's on the Sausage Fest podcast. God, his life turned downhill.
Yeah,
quick.
it
Now
was
the turntables.
the
man.
sideways.
maybe this is the start. Now I'm gonna make my own podcast, and I'm gonna get it to 1 million subs, and just stop.
And then just
Hey,
stop
that's a good
again.
idea.
Stop.
Meanwhile, we're gonna be stuck down here with our 30. You're like, please don't do
Hey,
that.
30's 30. That's a lot.
It is for
I'm
a
just saying.
podcast. Yeah,
It's
I'm
30
just
more
saying.
than we had before.
that's
Bang.
true. That's true.
Eat
That's
motivation right there.
Positivity.
yeah.
I
Nothing.
love every single 30 of you.
exactly.
I'll give you a big kiss.
Oh hell yeah! It makes me feel better.
You're gonna mail out special letters with kisses from him.
Yeah.
He's not even a part of the actual like the host. Like,
be
no,
like-
we want him.
Hey, I was in the original 30 listeners. You guys are now over 25 million. So I was promised a kiss like 10 years ago. Is that like lost in the mail?
That's still
or-
valid.
Can I redeem this?
Oh man.
Oh man! All
Some
right.
guy goes pro and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I remember listening to this guy on this podcast. He said I need to shove my foot so far up the ass of the sports team, and just hit home."
Yeah, it made me feel.
I was
better.
half-assing my video game time, but then I heard this Sausage Fest podcast, and I'm a pro gamer.
Oh man, I want someone to make it big in the pro scene. They're like, I want to credit the Sausage Fest podcast for giving me the inspiration to do this.
That would be so epic.
That'd be so cool.
Especially when we're not doing it by the time he's a pro. We forgot about the
Signed my
channel.
face.
You guys get to 1 million to just stop. You're like, no,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
the next guest lined up to come on the show. Nope,
No, we're dropping this. Fuck all
he's
that.
done.
All right, man. I think we're gonna wrap it up there. How do you say your name again? Chinchi?
Oh my god.
I still don't know how to say it.
It's
Chi-chi.
literally like,
Chi-
it's 6 letters, dude. Just sound it out.
Chanchi?
There's no N. Where'd you get the N from?
Chachi? I don't.
Chachi.
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 Yeah.
Chachi.
Yeah, Jordan.
Chachi,
Jordan
Chachi.
hates me right now. He's so ready for this to be
Dude.
done with.
I just don't understand how you added extra letters into it.
Yeah.
I thought we went over this.
Yeah, it's like, does that seem Charlie? You're like, oh, it's...
You asked him like 4 times before we
Charizard? Oh.
started.
Charizard. I'm gonna call you Charizard.
Charizard. Yeah.
You can't get mad at someone for calling you Charizard. Okay, Mr. Charizard, thank you so much for being on. And I hope you enjoyed your time here. Honestly, thank
it
you
was
so much
great.
for coming on. It means the world to us.
I'm glad I'm the friend that came on the podcast.
I tried so hard, man. I did all the work. I just busted my ass to get him on here, and I'm just really glad that it turned out well.
Yeah, I
Hey,
think
I'm
that,
gonna make it 31 listeners since, like, at least I know the podcast name now. Thanks,
hell
Austin.
yeah. Yeah,
or
well,
we might not just even upload this one.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, just upload the other one we recorded. With everything
The
wrong.
other
I wanna
one, we
hear
got
that.
everything
I want
wrong.
to hear it.
No.
I still
totally wanna
actually
hear it.
Jordan has it. Jordan recorded that one.
Jordan, just send it to me. I want to see how off Austin was.
Dude, so many
It was
things.
pretty off. I'm not gonna lie.
He's like, yeah, these guys just like slept in the bed on their
Yeah.
phones, and
They all spooned and cuddled with each other.
And they
played
made like
Clash Royale.
150 racks, bro. Like, it's nuts. Like,
every
they'll never-
day.
Oh man. All right, we gotta
Gay.
wrap it up. Thank you, Mr. Charizard, for coming on. I hope you enjoyed. Give me all your socials, or if you have all your socials, you can shout them out now.
Well, my mom told me not to send my social security number. But yeah, I'll send it to you guys. Just follow me on Twitch at Chache, or just Chache, and then yeah, my
I
TikTok.
thought you were
is
gonna say your
also
mom.
Chache CR.
My mom said not to show my Instagram.
I can't talk to strangers.
I'm not allowed to talk to
Oh, man.
strangers.
Either way,
Oh, you-
we will definitely make sure his descriptions are all, or his socials are all in the description, along with
Or
all
we
of
won't.
ours. Make sure you check out our Twitter and all of our socials down below. This is the Sausage Fest podcast signing off. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day whenever you are listening. Thank you guys. We're out.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace out.
Bye.